Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. So now let's talk about Western vaults drained of silver to meet soaring Indian demand. Now remember, the most interesting and I think telling part about this is that India is part of the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, plus many other countries joining forces and apparently are creating a digital currency backed by physical commodities. Andy Scheckman has talked about this a lot on my channel with our weekly show, the Belt Road Initiative. Regardless, though, the whole point is India is buying a boatload of silver along with these other countries. And I don't think it's just irony that countries in the BRICS nations are just sweeping up all the gold and silver. I mean, when you look at the past 3 years, what silver demand has done, it's astounding. And look at production. I mean, a lot of my content focuses on the silver supply deficit and especially moving forwards. Now, when I talk about a silver shortage or that we're running out of silver, people automatically just turn to, well, I can still go on APMEX and buy silver. Yes, you can right now, but look at what's happening to a lot of these dealers. The US Mint came out and said they're having a hard time finding silver. Perth Mint, Royal Mint, even your local coin shops are all sold out. Now you have bullion dealers sending newsletters out begging their own customers that they sell to sell their silver back to them, and these dealers are willing to pay crazy high premiums. Even Andy Scheckman himself, a guy that can fill a $50 million order in 2 days, is saying that he's never seen the market like this in 40 plus years. He's having a hard time. This is something that's not just, oh well, it'll roll over. No, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse. Right now the premiums are where the telling sign is as low supply, high demand pushes the price up, but even spot price has been going up. I mean, this is the 1 week chart. Look at the 1 month chart for silver. In the last week, we saw silver down to, and it's actually a little lower, we saw it down to $20.93, and now it's almost up to $24. Remember, we have the FOMC meeting, all these basis points. Is it 50? I mean, is it 75? Moving forwards, what's the dollar strength going to do? But just disregard all that. This is the craziest part. Disregard all that. CPI, interest rates, just disregard anything Federal Chairman Jerome Powell comes out and says. Just the demand alone, the supply deficit alone, could push silver soaring. And I do think the fundamentals is going to be what actually does that. Where other people say it could be more of the micro. But I'm looking at more of the macro, the bigger picture. What's going to happen, since silver is an industrial metal, when these industries, big tech, can't get their hands on silver to make these electronic applications or solar panels or EVs? Now, let's look at this article, because for the past 3 years, I've been covering article after article showing chart after chart, data. I mean, the Silver Institute themselves, right? So many, there's so much data out there that shows that the supply is shortening and the demand is growing. So when you look forwards 5 to 10 years, see, that's where I'm focused on. I don't care, the next year or so, okay, we can still sweep it under the rug to some degree. But think 3, 4, 5 years down the line. What is it going to look like then? What are the dealers going to do by then? What is big tech going to do by then? That's when I think silver's true price is going to shine. And I don't say true price as in $50 or even $100, because silver's true price is nowhere near $100. And if you think that $100 for an ounce of silver is a natural quote-unquote price, then I don't know what to tell you, because that means you don't understand the true value of a dollar, and that means you don't understand the true value of silver. So let's look at this article. The link will be in the description. Let's talk some silver. Western vaults drained of silver to meet soaring Indian demand, and India's demand has been booming this year. By the end of November, India had imported 8,000 tons of silver, up substantially on the 4,500 taken in during the entirety of 2021. It's almost doubling. Also incorporate COMEX, the COMEX vaults emptied, LBMA vaults emptied. Look at the LME. This is only going to get worse. So traditionally, India's precious metals dealers have received their gold shipments by air, but their silver normally came by sea. That made sense due to the relative values per ounce of the two metals, with gold to silver ratio now at 77 to 1. However, such is the demand for silver in 2022 that this metal too is now being sent to India by air cargo. The urgent need to find stocks of silver now is partly explained by the fact that demand was down last year due to the restrictions, right? You had boundaries, borders cut off, plus minimal workers because there's, safety precautions. It made it a lot harder. But that factor is being superseded by reports that new investment demand is flourishing. And that's what I hate the most. People just think that, the global situation that happened over the last couple of years is why the shortage is so bad, or that once things blow over, it's going to get better. No, that had some to do with it, but like this article even says right here, it's new investment demand. Even if this situation never ever happened, we would still be sitting here talking about a shortage. I would still be sitting here telling you that silver is a must. Even if there wasn't a shortage, I would still be telling you to put your money in something that holds its value as the dollar is collapsing. Get what I'm saying? You can't blame it all on that. Reports that new investment demand is flourishing, especially among the poorer Indians as well as younger ones of all levels of economic wealth. Bitcoin kind of introduced people into investing and said, showed them that you can make money, and maybe it actually isn't rocket science. And then you have more and more people coming out and talking about it. It's starting to click. It's more mainstream now. And you're going to see everyone wanting a slice of the silver pie. We're still before the curve. In 4 or 5 years from now, imagine someone's watching this video. This video is made December 13th, 2022. Someone who's watching this video maybe in 2024, they'll be wishing they could go back to today, December 13th, and buy silver at this price right here at $23.96. They'll be wishing that they found this video on this day, but they were too late. In 2021, India imported about 4,500 tons of silver. By the end of November, the import figures for 2022 was passing through 8,000 tons, around 78% increase, with a month still to go. And the forecast in 2022 was only 5,900 tons. So those predictions have been left in the dust. And remember, like what Andy Scheckman was saying, this is part of the BRICS nations. And if you really want to get into, it's not even a conspiracy, because this is really happening. You can look at it. Google the Belt Road Initiative. Look at the BRICS nations and how many new countries are joining forces, going against the U.S. dollar, because they're tired, since the U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, that the United States is getting their hands into every single transaction and making it extremely inconvenient, and they're tired of it. And it does make sense. A digital commodity based by, or a digital currency based by physical commodities does make a lot more sense, especially in this new digital technological era. We're advancing in cashless nations. A lot of countries have been using Bitcoin for the past several years because it's more convenient. I mean, look at the Zimbabwe $100 trillion bill. Money's becoming irrelevant, especially, paper currency. It makes a lot more sense to back it by something that holds its value if you want it to last. Every fiat-based system has crashed within 100 years. It only lasts 100 years because the design is literally made to fail. We're getting ourselves out of debt by replacing it with more debt. That's like trying to pay off a credit card with another credit card. It's going to catch up, and it has. The dollar's already lost 98% of its original purchasing power. So, at the same time, London vaults had, by the end of September, seen huge outflows of the metal, and the numbers are astonishing. These diminishing vault, and I'm not saying astonishing lightly, I mean, look at the LBMA and the COMEX vault levels. They're damn near empty. We have enough for only a year left, and not even that, give or take, especially with countries, like they said, India forecast was only 5,900, but all of a sudden it's 8,000 with still a month to go. things are happening behind the scenes. A lot of this silver is just vanishing. Where's it going? Who's it going to? What do they want with it? These diminishing vault stock levels do not appear to be linked to increased demand in the West. Silver ETF demand has been sidelined, yet there have been substantial withdrawals of physical silver from both the COMEX and London vaults. And that's what we're talking about. Where's the silver going? It's not the West. Where's it going? What do they want with it? A digital commodity or a digital currency based by physical commodities. Maybe they want all the silver. And maybe they know since keeping oil in business would be huge benefits since we're going green. Maybe they know if they take all this silver, we can't go green. Because if we go green, that means oil really isn't needed to the extent now. And if they have their hands in all this oil, they would want to keep things the way they are. And if we don't have enough silver to make solar panels and EVs, then they win. And I brought that up to Andy actually in one of our shows, and he's like spot on. Right? It starts to make more sense when you look deeper into it. Silver is a poor man's gold in India. The surge in imports has been partly ascribed to increased industrial demand, but jewelry offtake is the main consumer of silver in India. After the US and Germany, India is one of the third largest consumers of the world. And we're talking about silver there. It has been described as the poor man's gold due to the fact vast numbers of people in the country see gold and silver as vital stores of value, but many, particularly in rural India, cannot afford the amount of gold they want in the form of jewelry, so silver is their alternative option. In addition, Indian millennials, middle class or poor, seemingly favor the cheaper silver and are not interested in gold as the older generations. And I mean, it makes sense as well. Like I say, my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, for a reason. It's not just because it's cheaper. There's reasons. Silver, it has much more opportunity and potential to skyrocket in price, where gold is just a monetary metal used, just kind of sits around. It's useless. A little bit of gold's in technology, yeah, but silver's the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity. Silver's the thing that makes the most sense as an investment. India, when it comes to mining silver, is a very minor player. Its mining output annually is just 0.67 tons. This compares with the world's two leading miners, Mexico and Peru. I was going to say, I didn't have to read these. Mexico, Peru, Chile, Australia, China. Yeah, like it says right here as well. Yeah, the top producers are Mexico, Chile, Australia, China, where else? Not many, honestly. When you're talking about the big top five, Mexico and Peru nearly accumulate half of all the other countries combined, Mexico and Peru alone. And they got hit hard by the global situation, which is why production was also cut down so bad, because the two main countries that produce the most got hit very hard. In Australia, with only 1,220 tons, when you're looking at Mexico and Peru at 10,000 alone. The country's largest mine is Sindasur, which produces 10,872 ounces in 2021, but it's expected to close in 2027. I wonder why. It's getting harder and harder to find the silver. Silver is only at the top of the Earth's crust, so there's only so much, and we've dug a lot of it out. And remember, it's not made in the Earth's crust. It came here from comets and asteroids. So another import mine is Zawara, same state, and expected to close in 2029. And by that time, in the year 2030, every automobile company is going to be electric. So we're talking about the biggest mines closing down right when we're going to need the most silver by far. And people are holding on to it. They're not selling it. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the silver shortage is over-exaggerated like people have been telling me for years, even though now article after article starting to come out? See, a couple of years ago, even last year, nobody was talking about it like this. These types of articles were not popping up every couple of days like they are now, right? And a lot of people were like, why are you talking about this so much? Silver's everywhere, right? Even a article a couple months ago, the lady said there's an ample supply of silver, not understanding the COMEX or the facade that they're putting on the COMEX, how they think all those contracts that people own have equal amounts of physical silver readily available, which is not true. If everyone tried to turn in their contracts, it would be exposed. But nobody, they always hold it all the way through to maturity. Contracts, they never turned it in. But when you see someone like the Hunt brothers, three brothers that bought almost all the silver on the COMEX and tried to turn it into physical delivery, what happened? The government freaked out, banned silver, made a law on the spot called Silver Rule 7, banned silver. And that was what pushed silver to the highest price still till this day, when the COMEX almost got exposed. Think about that. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bottom left hand corner, if you wanted to purchase some of that shiny stuff, gold or silver, there's no minimum price. Best dealer in the world. Building a business relationship with them could be extremely beneficial. Andy Scheckman is the CEO. You've probably seen him on my channel or somewhere. Wall Street Silver, he's all over the place. He's one of the top dogs, and be very beneficial to get to know him and purchase through him, because that relationship could be extremely beneficial instead of buying from some random online site where you don't know who's behind the screen filling your order. Plus, Andy can get his hands on silver. He's one of the only authorized dealers that still work with the US Mint. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. I post daily videos. I know lately I haven't been posting as much. It's the holidays. Been doing a lot of shopping. Plus, some of you know I'm a single father with a 2-year-old daughter, and she's been sick last week or so. So it's been a lot harder to work, but I'm going to catch up. A lot of catching up to do over the next couple of days, so expect to be back to normal uploads every single day. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.